Let me show you why many people struggle financially, even though they earn money consistently. Yet, at the end of the day, they have nothing to show. It is not because they do not attempt to save. Many of them really have good intentions about savings, but they only realize that they earn money into a single account, and from that single account they pay the bills. From that single account they intend to fund emergencies. From that single account they intend to fund their investment goals. But at the end of the month they realize that nothing is left in the account. Why? Because as soon as money hits the account, they do not have the opportunity to sit down to ask themselves, how should this money be spent? And so they end up, immediately stepping out to begin to solve problems, spend money, and by the time they are done, they realize that the money is gone. Nothing is left for savings. But you see, I intend that in this video, I'm going to show you a smart approach to your savings. And the first approach that I want to talk about is the need for you to create multiple savings accounts. Even in the Jewish communities, they do this a lot. Money is divided into different savings accounts based on their different purposes, so that every time money hits their account, they do not wait to spend before they begin to think of what the money is meant for. As soon as money comes, they already have a predetermined percentage of what should go into the various accounts. You could have a 5-account structure such that there's an account that is meant for paying bills, such as rent, such as the money meant for food for the month, money meant for transportation for the month, money for utilities. It goes into the bills account. You could also have a separate account for investments. We call that the investment account. And whatever be your plans for your investment, you ensure that a certain portion of your money monthly goes into the investment account. Out of that account, you can now send money to your mutual funds. You can buy stocks and shares, and you can, have your business capital from that amount. This money is not for spending. It is meant to build wealth. And so any money that goes into your investment account is strictly for investment, such that you can have a future. There's also a very important account you need to have, and that's the emergency fund account, so that you don't begin to jump into any of these other accounts in the face of an emergency. There's also the savings or goals account, where you save money for short-term goals. For instance, you want to buy a car. That's a goal. That's a project. You could save money for that. And lastly, the 5th account is a charity or giving account, from which you can make donations, help family, support, friends and causes that may be very important to you. Now, many people still fail even after opening these different accounts. And why do they fail? They fail for I would say 2 reasons. The first reason I have identified is that many times, as soon as money hits the account, people begin to spend spontaneously without waiting to properly distribute the monies into the various accounts they have created. And so by the end of the day, when they sit down to say, oh, I have created various accounts for various purposes, I need to, distribute this money, there's nothing left to be distributed. Why? Because they've spent the money already before sitting down to ask that vital question. Now, the second big challenge I find is that for some others, it is not that they don't distribute this money. They actually took their time to distribute the monies into the various accounts, but they lack the discipline to stay with their decisions. And so at the end of the day, monies that were meant for investments could be spent on other things, to pay bills, spent on other issues not connected with investment. And that way, the entire purpose of creating these various accounts is defeated. So once you realize that you have this struggle, there's a way that you can take away your willpower from the equation. And that is by building a system, by structuring your finances such that, number one, these monies go into the various accounts without necessarily you being involved any longer. And how is it achieved? It is achieved through the process of automation. Automation is a process that ensures that you have given instruction ahead of time, and as soon as the money comes, your action is no longer required for the monies to move from that income account to the various savings accounts that you have created. For instance, I have a Zenith Bank account, and on their Zenith Bank mobile app, there is an opportunity you have to automate certain transfers. And once you have automated the transfers, you will decide on the app how long you want it to last, the start date, the end date, and then on what particular day of the month you want the transfers to be made. So you could actually set up the automation such that a certain portion of your income goes to your mutual funds account every month, a certain portion of your income goes to your emergency funds every month, a certain portion goes to your goals account every month. That way you take away the need for you to be involved in the process, so that when your emotions become weak, it will not impact negatively on your plans. And I tell you for free, there are so many persons who truly have a desire to save but are struggling, and they're struggling because there's no structure to it. Automation puts a structure to your savings so that you no longer have to depend on willpower. Now, aside creating an investment account, I want to talk about the investment account because that's the account I'm particularly concerned about. Since we are dealing with your financial future, we're dealing with retirement. If you have set aside a portion of your money for investment, it is usually very risky to leave the money in an account that you can access. Once that money is within reach, it is very risky. Money that can easily be reached can easily be spent, and money that is kept out of reach has the opportunity to grow. And so what I advise is that as soon as your money gets into the investment account, you should already have an idea of the investments you have in mind. If you intend to invest in mutual funds, send that portion of the money for your mutual funds straight into your mutual fund platform. If it's you're using Stanbic IBTC mutual funds, Meristem mutual funds, Cowrywise mutual funds, whatever mutual funds you intend to use to grow your investment, send the money there. A good thing is that as soon as the money hits that account, it has the opportunity to begin to grow and begin to compound interest rather than waiting until a certain time in the future. Now, you could also be interested in stocks and shares. And these days, stocks and shares, they are digital platforms for trading in stocks and shares. And they have accounts they have created such as soon as the money hits the account, it's already on the platform and you can begin to trade. So rather than leave the money in that savings account you have created, which you can easily access, move the portion for shares into your wallet on the platform. And then, of course, what do you do next? You invest in the stocks and the shares of your choice. That way, you keep the money away from you. But as long as it is still in an account that is within reach, there's risk. You may end up eating into that money without necessarily knowing. Still on the subject matter of automation, we're happy that we live in a generation where technology makes things very easy. There are so many things that technology has made easy, and one of those things is savings. And there are several digital platforms, digital apps that automate savings, such that once you have programmed the app and you have connected them with your income account on a certain day, which you have decided ahead of time, a certain amount of money is drawn from your regular account into the savings account so that the decision to save is no longer left to you to make monthly. Now, I have a couple of these apps I will introduce to you. Of course, there are several others. Now, the first is PiggyVest. That's what we call PiggyVest. It helps you with automated savings plans, fixed savings options, investment opportunities. And this helps to enforce discipline by restricting withdrawals. When you have saved monies on these platforms, they have restrictions on withdrawals so that you cannot just begin to withdraw money unless it falls within the plans that you have already set ahead of time. There's also Cowrywise, which is goal-based savings, recurring automatic savings, access to mutual funds. This is very useful for long-term investment discipline. There's also the Kuda Bank, which has budgeting features, schedule transfers, spending insights. They help to structure and track your finances. Then, of course, the one that is very popular, OP. OP also has easy wallet separation, daily transaction management, useful for micro savings. Of course, there are so many digital apps. I may not be able to talk about all of the digital apps here right now, but there are several digital apps now that helps you to automate savings. What practically they can request for your savings account, which you want to link with the app, and then the app is now authorized on a certain date and time to take a certain amount of money from your account. And so monthly, that amount of money is saved on the app, and savings becomes automated rather than you having to decide for yourself on a monthly basis. And these monies are saved, and there are different kinds of savings, such that if it's a long-term savings, there are restrictions that keeps you from touching the money in the short term. This helps you to achieve your savings goals so that you can actually do the things that you have set out to do. So I dare say that a savings culture is not built by motivation. It is built on systems and structure. When your money has direction, your future has direction. But once your money goes without any form of control, then you will really find it difficult to build a future. If you are ready to take control of your finances, please type in the comment section. I will structure my savings.